Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Ultimate Apocalypse casts this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 4 versus 4 on Moria Coast. Playing on Team 2 as the Tyranids, we've got Falcon, we've got Roman 228 playing as the Dark Eldar, we've got Grid Panther playing as the Imperial Guard, and we've got Rice Krispy playing as the Tau Empire. Whereas on Team 2, playing as the Orks, we've got Stranger, we've got Merp playing as the Tyranids, we've got Darkness playing as the Chaos Space Marines, and we've got Liesberg playing as the Tau Empire as well. So here we are, Moria Coast, a map that is dominated by this central feature here, in the shape of a liver, a fish, an eyebrow, a comma gone wrong. Not entirely sure what shape it would be. It basically splits the map into two, forcing these quasi 2 versus 2 engagements for the early games, and throughout, to be honest. Lots of narrow corridors as well, so vehicles and pathing might be an issue as the game goes on. Also quite like how, for both teams, the Tau player is spawned on these precarious forward positions where their base kind of enters towards the enemy team. It's quite a hard position to hold. If their allies come over and help them defend, it should be no worries. I also quite like how the Tau Empire and the Imperial Guard have kind of gone for a very similar kind of colour scheme, so maybe the friends, the friendship and all that stuff. That's what really makes the Warhammer 40k universe go around and round. Some Mandrakes from Roman 228 already moving straight over onto the Tyranid side. What is your function here? What's your purpose bringing these boys over? I assume just to decap stuff at the moment. Merp hasn't quite got around to capturing all his bits and bobs, just brood hives being built up by the Rippers, being stabbed by these Mandrakes, but finishing the structure. Now they can turn their attention to stare at these guys menacingly, which is, you know, not exactly going to kill them very quickly, but will still cause them some issues morally and socially on the inside. I do quite like that, just those guys running around as quickly as possible. So what we've got for the 2v2s, it's Tyranids and Dark Eldar, in theory, going up against the Chaos Space Marines and the Tau. You also like that attack bike just bobbing and weaving, bashing around those Raveners, preventing them from capturing the critical location. There we go. So, I mean, Dark Eldar, they're quite quick and nimble, so able to come on over and put some pressure onto this side of the map, or any side of the map, really. And the Tyranids, I assume that you're just going to throw out loads of little ones while building up your economy in the corner. As Chaos Space Marines, I know that these guys have gone for the traditional Mark of Khorne, which in a 4v4 is usually the best mark to go for, as that massively increases your overall damage output. And, well, Tau, yeah, like we said, not the ideal people to have on your front lines, but thankfully Darkness has been providing the forward forces of his Chaos Space Marines to help defend against these Raveners. Got the Pathfinders, and I assume you'll see some got some Fire Warriors coming out. They've got the squad cap full at the moment. Double Mandrakes inside of Merp's base, actually, and sending in all his Spine Gaunts, see if they can sort them out. Quite the pain, quite the annoyance in the backside, as they've currently got none of their points inside the base being captured. You don't normally see a squad of Mandrakes coming over and causing yourself issues, especially considering that they've been spawned on the opposite side of the map, but hey-ho, such is the way. We're actually seeing Team 2 being quite aggressive in the southern side here. The big mech of Stranger being flamed up by Group Carnivore. Well, not Group Carnivores, they're not flaming things up, it's the Imperial Guard. They're engaging close combat as and when they fancy. Big mech slowly but surely taking a fair bit of damage. Got double sluggers down on the southern side for any kind of close combat shenanigans. They can also get some flamers as well. Tyranids are starting right. This is the firing line. No one shall pass here, so the Tau probably going to be in a nice situation without having to deal with too much aggression inside their base. Dark Eldar finally been taken care of, and that will leave the Tyranids to... I don't know, are you still alive here? Turns around, and about trees. Oh no, they're just eating the floor lasagna. That's fair enough. Spine Gaunts will be able to massively increase their overall health pool. And much like in all kinds of things, like the crew in vanilla, if one squad eats some floor lasagna, everyone gains that health advantage. Mandrakes and Rome 228 have now transitioned over to the Chaos side, but I mean, everything's been upgraded. Shooty bits. So they're going to be no mass, no pass for any kind of economic harassment going on there. And yeah, everyone's just setting shop at the moment. Gonna have the Slugger Boys with the burners. Both squads have gone for the maximum amount so far. And the conscripts, they'll certainly have their morale broken more or less straight away. And the Imperial Guards, probably the same as well. You know, lightly armoured infantry units, AoE damage from the flamers, always a good thing to see. Lovely flanking attack from that Chaos Bike, knocking around those Group Carnivores. Also got the swarm of Spine Gaunts coming straight over towards the Imperial Guard. They're being blown up. I assume there's some sort of either grenades or minefields going on over there. Chaos Space Marines in the centre. So even the Tyranids of Team 2 are forming a nice defensive line over on the northern side. The aggression from Team 1 here might potentially throw the Imperial Guard and crew away, although the crew are causing some severe melee situations for the Orks. Not exactly a situation you'd expect from the Orks. You normally think that they'd be alright, getting involved in a bit of argy-bargy, the close combat style of things, but no, the crew are definitely devilish beasts when it comes to slapping people around the chops. Big mech teleports out of danger's way as the crew decide to go back and see what they can do in the defensive capacity for these guys. Got some sandbanks for the Imperial Guard for defensive reasons, but I don't think that helps them in melee. Grenade being thrown by the Imperial Guardsmen, but no choice but to fall back due to the sheer amount of stuff that's coming towards them. What's going on? The Tyranids decided, right, okay, well, if no aggression is going to come our way, we're just going to start to be aggressive towards the town of Liesberg, and there's nothing really for him for defensive stuff. He's got a squad of white fire warriors, and whatever was here, but now has been turned into... Oh no, you've got one singular stealth suit team that was defending half and home. But didn't last them all that long. Got a raider from Roman 228 as well. Always has a finger in each pie, does this kid. God, you're going to really feel sorry for these guys. It's not a happy situation for them. Stricken down by the scything talons of the Raveners. Tier 1/2 attempting to be built up. And there's just no town for Liesberg at the moment. Do have a whole swarm of Chaos Space Marines attempting to sprint on over as quickly as they can. Will they be able to defend or save the town with whatever remnants that they've got left of their base? There we go, look at him. So much value in those Chaos Attack Bikes. But just completely knocking out, what, 3/4 of the Tyranids away from bashing things. So managed to save the structures for a little bit. But can this small set of Chaos Space Marines take on all this Tyranid nonsense? While that is going on, we do have the Orks now pushing out over towards their critical location, which has been captured by the Imperial Guard. Still plenty of flamers for them. Got the commandos sneaking around. There's no infiltration detection at the moment. And never mind, the Imperial Guard throwing down that long-range scanner to basically spot them. A powerful firing line from Stranger. Been knocked around by the... Oh, double frag grenades. Smacking those guys left, right and centre. Commandos going around the flanks there. And we've got a boom going somewhere. There we go. Oh dear. Placed around the backside, and that knocks down a good size of the Imperial Guard forces. Down back to where the Tyranids roam and drone. They're deciding to fight the Chaos Space Marines while the double raiders decide to finish off the tech buildings of the Tau Empire. It's got some biovore, or should I say bioplasma turrets, keeping the Tyranids of Merp back. But it does seem that with the helping hands of darkness, the Tau managed to save themselves. They have lost all the bits and bobs there, which is very unfortunate. But as long as they're still in the game, that is the main thing. We've also got some cheeky death spikes in place. What are you? You are fairly... Oh, wait a minute. As Roman just decided to build up inside the Tyranid base. I mean, he's a madman. You've got to give him credit for it. It's not a standard way of playing by building a base inside an enemy's base, but hey, if it works, it works. Crew. Yeah, definitely a nice choice actually from Rice Krispie. I do like the use of crew in this situation, as like we said earlier on, the Tau are in a defensive, precarious situation. We certainly help them fend off the Orks for at least a little while. Imperial Guard are now basically saying, right, well, if we can't defend the Tau, at least we can fend people off by just, I don't know, building a wall of tank traps. Yeah, now a bit of a stalemate on the northern side. Tyranids have gone for a Hellfex Carnifex and a Screamer Killer Carnifex. And plenty of Little Uns and plenty of Bioplasma turrets. So it'll be a hard nut to crack to try and decap this critical location. Orks finishing off the final amounts of the crew. The crew shapers were in there as well, but have been killed off. And now the Tau are building up some sentry turrets across the map. Also quite like the placement of these turrets, just wind and dined down at these listening posts on the relics. We've got Grot Gang. I assume you'll be going for a couple of gun carts out of the cannon or the zaps. I assume the cannons, it's always good for taking on masses of infantry, which the Imperial Guard certainly do have. At the placement of the heavy weapons team, able to cover this side of everything, keeping the Orks out from manoeuvring up onto this side, but I suppose the Orks can just start to come on over and do something else. Maybe even help the poor old Tyranids try and take on this feral plasma generator surrounded by all the death spikes. Got the Ripper Swarms coming over, but the problem with these death spikes is that they're kind of like a quasi turret. You go near them, they do damage, unlike regular turrets that, you know, you've got to get within a certain range. Oh, I see what this is. It also helps protect a portal to allow the Dark Eldar to bring people in and do a whole lot of flanking nonsense. Who's now pressing on in? Plenty of little ones being pinned together by the bigger lads of the Carnifexes, and also a Lictor as well. Dark Eldar Raiders coming in for that fire support. Trying to manoeuvre around the sides. Dark Eldar vehicles aren't exactly the tankiest of the vehicles, but they are very swift and nimble, just completely avoiding that front line and going around the flanks. It does seem that the Chaos Space Marines and Tau are defending stuff. Do have some breach as well. A wonderful choice from the perspective of the Tau, as they're basically just a unit of shotgun troopers. So keeping those guys at bay as well as they can. The Raiders are inside the Chaos Space Marine base, but being instantly dealt with by the Hell Talons. Death Spikes over here still knocking around. Imperial Guard with their Assault Chimera tanks leading that charge on into putting some pressure onto this critical location. It does seem they're not exactly going to be pressing any too further forward, not until these bioplasma turrets are taken care of. They are taking on the listing post and now building up some minefields as well. So at the moment, it does seem that Team 2 is winning the aggression side of things at the moment. I mean, this is the second attack from the Tyranids on the northern side of this game at the moment. The second time they've managed to break into the Tau base. And the Tau at the moment, yeah, really struggling. Very unfortunate that Liesberg lost all of the production and his tier 1/2 structure. If he was playing in any other faction like Chaos Space Marines, we've been able to keep that tier 2, because you research that in the HQ, don't you? But the Tau have the unfortunate thing of having to, you know, have their tiered buildings, you know, destructible, which has the opportunity to send them back in the tech tree, but lost the HQ. And that is... Are you dead? Yep, lost a player, so now it's a 3v4 kind of situation. Doesn't necessarily mean the end of everything, as the Chaos Space Marines can capture the Tau economy. But as the game goes on, it's going to be more and more difficult for them. Raiders now making their way down over to the Orc side of things. And building up a... Oh, you're building up a wall, fair enough. Which is possibly the best name for a structure in Ultimate Apocalypse. I do quite like the little play on word right there. True boys teleporting inside the base. A big zap to stop the Raiders from doing stuff. Morale being broken by that Dark Eldar terrorizing shriek ability. You managed to strike him down. And the Raiders being used really, really well by Roman 228 here. Led a campaign of terror and harassment all the way through this game so far. And even though he's kind of like quasi-sacrificing these guys, not sure what the target is at the moment. Would have liked to see them keep on top of these war banners. War banners are such juicy targets in Ultimate Apocalypse. As you can see here, to get more squad cap, they need to research, well, they need to add some quite expensive research onto these. And look how fast this research takes, or how slow even this research takes to get going. So, if you ever see Orc War Banner, definitely try and take it down ASAP. Well, that's quite a powerful blob of Daka, and also being supported by a front line of Hormagaunts. These Imperial Guardsmen in a sad situation. The Tyranids en masse, and they are now looking to squam bomb for these Chaos Space Marines. We've got a small amount of lads defending this narrow choke point, and just hoping, praying that their best that the Tyranids don't notice them, but sadly they have been noticed. And here come the Hormagaunts. Let's watch from their perspective. Hecky flip. Yeah, okay, they can kill the small ones quite nicely, but the big ones are quite a pain. You have the Corn Berserkers activating their, hit them harder ability. There's only 2 of them. Mind you, I'm not sure if they're even aware of the current situation that they're in at the moment. Good lord, that's just so many. I also love the colour scheme for these guys as well. It's absolutely rolling over these Chaos Space Marines here. while summoning forth some more lads from the sky. Yes, definitely need some support. Orks activating their war. Where are the Orks? Oh, they're inside the base. Well, a mass teleport from the big mech, I assume. And yeah, I mean, never mind in defending your own friends. Best way to defend your friends by killing your opponents. And a Rice Krispie. Had a nice idea. I mean, I suppose he's got another HQ over yonder. But kind of relying on the Imperial Guard to be their defense. They've got the Crew Hounds there. But can one small squad of dogs kill all these Orks? I mean, I believe. I'm always a big fan of an underdog story, but, you know, maybe this is an overdog story, if you pardon the hilarious pun. You'll have to excuse me, I am quite mind-jangled at the moment. Before this game, I had a nap. That was meant to last half an hour, but it ended up lasting 2.5, 3 hours long. And you know that difference when you go for a little nap compared to having a big nap. I wake up thinking, what time is it? Went to bed, the sun was out, and then I woke up and the sun was down. I was like, where am I? Who am I? We've got some predators and also plenty of heavy bolter turrets to help defend anyone if they push too further in. Also got the Chaos Space Marines focusing on the warriors over here. They're just breaking down listening posts as best they can. The Orks managing to take out a good chunk of the tower structures. And actually, all these died as well. How did you die? I don't know. Maybe I missed out something. Maybe they just gave up and killed themselves. Not entirely sure. Settlement on the front lines for the Orks as the Imperial Guard start building up their own structures. Do love the little placement of the field command as well. Though the Orks have kind of circumvented the whole defensive line by just teleporting around it. Very sneaky. Using the elephant of surprise to the best of their advantage. Darkness now just going for a pure Khorne kind of... No, not pure. You've still got the Havocs on the back lines, but never underestimate the punching potential of the Khorne Berserkers. It's a very niche situation that you use these guys in, but I mean, the Tyranid warriors are all armed with their long-range weapons, although now actually going for some rending claws, so that might be making things a little bit harder for the Khorne Berserkers. Over here we've got a wall of bioplasma turrets keeping the raiders at bay. But yeah, just plenty of these bioplasma turrets. Like as if he's made like a wee concave, thinking that people are going to be assaulting over here, but no. The raiders going around the flanks. God, that's a lot of Daka. And those commanders on the back lines with the big shooters. Yeah, that's just rockets of big shooters all day. We're all being shaken by the Dark Eldar. Also placed down some corrosive acid. While trying to avoid all that green goop. They walk straight into those minefields. That's one way to deal with a minefield, really. Never mind trying to destroy it. Just fire a bunch of lads inside it. Absolutely loving it. Oh my god, it's like as if we're watching a campaign mission of Grid Panther setting up all his vehicles and stuff behind tank traps. We'll keep the close combat units off him, but I mean, there's no close combat units to speak of at the moment, but, you know, actual tactics. Very, very much appreciated. Well, this stuff is still going on. And it seems that we've got one torch slave just keeping this thermal plasma generator on the go for him. Could really do with something, anything coming up, even if it's just a Hellblade or two, just to finish this off. Always got that force on the back lines being a bit of a nuisance. And you've also got some infiltrated stuff. What is that? Oh, that's just more death spikes. Fair enough. Well, the field command is, I assume you are packed to the Boomer Boys. You are, well, quasi, 3 out of 5. That's a lot of firepower to deal with. And, oh, the Orks are blooming. Right, we've got to be on their side so we can see the infiltrated stuff. That's a lot of infiltrated stuff, to be fair. So, recap, what's going on at the moment? So, Tau on both sides have been taken care of. The Tyranids of Team 2 are basically capturing all their bits and bobs to further increase their economy. Orks are doing the same over on this side, and it does seem that the Orks have got the lion's share of punching power for Team 1, whereas the Tyranids, well, they did have the vast amount of power on the side. Oh, no, never mind me. The tower's still alive. Team 1, they've built up 3 Cadre headquarters for reasons. Not sure why. I assume it's because the HQ gives you a little bit of blue money. And maybe that'll just help them with a lack of listing purse for the moment. During this outing, right, okay, well, again, all this defensive structures over on this side, let's completely ignore them. See whatever kind of damage that we could do. Tier 3 listing purse has been kaputted. And also these industry commands are going to be amazing targets. Quite expensive to build these guys up. Been relatively cheap to build one, but every time you build up another, it costs more and more. So the fact that these guys have got so much rocket power to kill the structures on the back lines, as the Imperial Guard try to fight their way back inside their own base. Very frustrating thing indeed. That big mech with a shield to reduce the overall ranged damage incoming for him. But the shooter boys getting their choppers out. I mean, it's a losing battle for the Orks on this side, but they don't really need to win. They just need to give these rocket lads some stuff or some time to break down all the stuff. Very nice strategies. Have the Chaos Predators moving forward, but they can't press any further due to these stealthy death spikes. So they decide to instead try and see if they can smash up the Tyranid economy over on this side. Still, it's a 3 versus 4 here. Now also got a selection of ouchie platforms, which we've seen before. Some players who play Orks, what they'll do is that they'll just slowly encroach on an opponent's territory by building like a whole hive of ouchie platforms. They start in the base and slowly but surely spread across the map. 2 commandos, or 3 commandos, hiding in the corner. Maybe no one will notice them. They have been noticed, and that is, yeah, these guys are not feeling all that inclined to let them live, but the commandos are able to teleport. Where have you gone? Oh, I see you're inside the Dark Eldar base now. Very nice stuff. Also got the... yeah, they're very, very commando-ish, aren't they? Looks now pressing on over here, but the artillery of Roman 228. The Reapers must fire a whole load of actual firepower. Just love the purple plumes of smoke. But just one Reaper at the moment, unable to really defend all the stuff solo. Will require the Imperial Guard, but I suppose they now need to walk all the way from here back over onto this side. Orks and Tyranids inside there, side of things. Also got the Tyranids of Falcon coming down as well. That's a lot of Screamer Killers. Smashing up that listing post on the relic. And it's probably another time just to push on in and do what they can inside the Chaos Space Marine base. Imperial Guard using their las guns en masse. I'm quite surprised actually. Grid Panther, what he's done here is that he's not really invested too much in his vehicles at the moment. Kind of just like relied on some souped up infantry for the moment for defensive reasons, until he then gets into his tier, whatever tier he's in at the moment, to then start getting Baneblades on the game. So I quite like that. Might have like reduced his defensive capacity this early on in the game. And I'm not sure what their plan is here, but are they using Rice Krispie essentially as a like a power battery? What economies have you... yes, not amazing economy, but it's passable. He won't need listing post for a little while, but he's got no economy, or should I say no army on the go for him at the moment. Who knows, maybe this investment for him will pay off if his team can defend, which in theory they should be able to. A 3v3 scenario. They're just coming over to defend their ill-gotten gains, as these Khorne Berserkers do love that darkness is sticking to the theme here. Also got some blooming tank busters of all things over on this side. Ultimately, one problem for these guys is that they go all the way over here. They're then kind of like they're locked into this place. I mean, these Tyranid boys can't exactly jump off the cliffs here, so unable to really avoid combat. But the Chaos Space Marine is not quite able to enclose them in the environment. To be fair, I don't think I've got the numbers to really do that. Oh, all these Gene Stealers and Carnifexes. God, that's a lot of Gene Stealers. As we mentioned in previous games, not amazing in the early game, but you can get 1 million upgrades for them, and they become quite a devilish brood indeed. Now the Imperial Guard just spreading across the map like an industrial city. It's Explosion going on here. What was that? Oh, right, okay. It's the ouch platforms, I assume. Oh, never mind to me. It's the boomy platforms. Quite a long range. Tactical control. We take it down slowly. Where are the blooming commanders? Oh, they're dead. They're dead at some point. Fair enough. Let's have a really quick look at the economies. We've got the Orks 598 and 629. We've got 112 and 82 and 1000 and 0. Why 0? You have got plasma generators. Have you done some chaos, mischief and technology to have no power? Am I confused? Is this a bug or a feature? I don't know. Either way, the economy for them is okay-ish. I'll do an economy check for the other team in a bit, but like there's a Baneblade. Don't want to miss this. Huge pushes from both sides, actually. Imperial Guard riding solo on the bottom side, where there's a combination of Tyranids and Imperial Guard over on this side. Oh, we do have the blooming Dark Eldar also pushing inside the Tyranid side of things as well, so plenty of attack vectors for Team 2. Chaos Space Marines once again being pushed back. They're now getting their Corn Terminators on the go for themselves, which will be able to shirk off a lot of the damage, but there's a Baneblade knocking at your door. So not sure if they can resist a Baneblade with their powerful armor. And these are Trueborn Warriors as well from the Dark Eldar, so much damage that they can bring to bear. Tyranids are coming. Oh no, never mind. It's not Tyranids, it is Grot Gangs. So little guys charging towards these Trueborn, but dying en masse before they're even able to get anywhere close to them. You've got to appreciate the effort, got to appreciate the hotspot. And I mean, good lord, this ore base over here has gone for 2 of the meanest teleporters. So plenty of Titans on the way for him, I imagine. Chaos Space Marines once again using that narrow choke point to the best of their advantage. Being spotted by a Chaos Shrine for turret kind of damage. Oh, another blooming Baneblade been flown on in. Thought it was dangerous. 1, now there's 2. Thankfully they've got a Plague Reaper, which is like a quasi Baneblade of their own. Well, that's a chunky little plasma cannon right there. Able to break through the armour of heavy infantry, superstructures, vehicles, all that jazz. Plenty of floor lasagna from left by the Tyranids as the Trueborn Warriors. And what can he be armed with? Can get some Dark Lances, as well as greater Dark Lances once the Trueborn weaponry has been researched. But is now coming in, bobbing and weaving between all these bioplasma turrets. Stranger's got 3 nuclear bombers and a Titan on the way. Good lord. Oh yeah, absolutely. So this is plenty of potential nuclear power to be thrown towards the enemy. And to be fair, the Tyranids are struggling. The Chaos Space Marines are struggling, so it's all going to be down to what Stranger can pull out of his hat. Are the Tau doing anything at the moment? No, they're just going to... I see what they're doing. They're just thinking, right, well, yeah. I've never seen a player do that, to be fair. But I can see where he's going with it. God Terminators punching the Baneblade, and actually, good lord. That's a lot of damage, especially from these Chaos Space Marines with their Volkite Cavaliers. Did not expect that level of damage from that weaponry, but I mean, why not? The Tyrannosaurus Rex screams from the Screamer Killers. Baneblade tries to shuffle off and away. Got that Daka Stomper out in the open. Firing left, firing right. Trueborn Warriors have killed the HQ, so it does seem that the Tyranids for Team 1 have been taken out of the game at the moment. Trueborn Warriors being shot up by the bigger Stomper as the Big Mech attempts to fend off the Imperial Guard, who are now pushing over onto this side. Got the Reapers as well, firing off inside the Orc side of things. Chaos Space Marines do seem to have held the line for a little while at the very least. There's still plenty of Tyranids, but there's a lack of big guns on them. Oh, never mind, there's big guns over on this side. So every time the Chaos Space Marines seem to have pushed away the Tyranids, just more and more seem to be coming forward. Plenty more generators being built up just to increase the speed of the building for these Minas teleporters. Baneblade now being hemmed in by a Daka Stomper. Also got a big mech with some tank busters firing at its flanks as well. Unfortunate. Chaos Space Marines. Oh, you seem to have defended yourself. Nice one. Corn Terminators really punching things into bloody pulps in the ground. Where are these nuclear bombers? Takes so long to build up. But once they're done, that's it, you've basically got like a mobile nuclear option. Terminators now decapping the strategic points of the Tyranids, but that's a lot of blooming hell. That's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Screamer Killers charging straight towards the Corn Terminators. All then deciding to munch through their armour. Even though you've got like 5 Screamers, but don't get me wrong, they're breaking through their armour quite quickly, but still quite impressive. The fact that they're able to hold off a couple of volleys of close combat attacks is quite impressive. Dark Eldar in the middle, between a rock and an orc place. Plague Reaper moving to be in a supporting position for the Orks. I think we're going to watch from the orc perspective, actually, I think, just to see where they've got their nuclear bombers. I'm actually sending a couple in different directions here. One towards the Imperial Guard side of things, and one to, I assume, the Dark Eldar place. What are going to be their nuclear targets, I wonder? Just hobbling over on this side, minding their own business, don't mind us. We're just going in for a casual flying time. And, yep, Dark Eldar, that's the target. Big explosions all seeing the Tau Empire. They built up all they could. And dear oh dear. No one's a fan of that. And then they run backwards. Fair enough, I like that. Dive in, explode things while they can, and then dive back on out. Now Dark Stomper comes on. It's doing a lot of damage to all these guardsmen. Now that they've got none of their Bane Blades online at the moment. You have the money to buy more, Mr. Imperial Guardsman. You have money, but not a huge... Oh, I completely forgot to do an economic check for these guys. Right, Tyranids, 356 and 138, 256 and 143, 284 and 226, and 115 and 61 for the Tau, sir. Bugger, I can't remember what the original economies were. I do apologise. There was a Bane Blade, there was stuff going on. 4v4s are so hard to cast from a consistency and keeping on touch with everything. More just for the spectacle, really, as we mentioned before on the channel. Juborn coming out the portal for defensive reasons, as the Chaos Space Marines are wondering why can't we fit through these places. Got the Grot gangs rubbing their faces on the death spike. Still can't seem to spot it for whatever reason. Definitely need some infiltration detection to be able to get through. Finally, somehow managed to squeeze its way past that. So that's something. Now we've got a whole bunch of looters being hooted out by the Daka Stomper. And the Imperial Guard base. I mean, there used to be a lot of stuff in here. Doesn't seem to be that many anymore. And lots of little nukes from the nuclear bombers. They've got this ability, as we saw earlier, where they're able to throw out like 50 bombs, do lots of damage, but then when they're just attacking regularly, they just throw out a constant level of small amounts of nuclear weapons. Well, the anti-aircraft vehicles down here, but they won't survive very long. Oh dear, just more nuclear bombers. Well, that's one way to do it, I suppose. Just throw nukes at someone until they all die. Super expensive, take a while to build up, and very fragile, but if used like this, cause no end of headaches to your opponents. I've got a million Mega Armor knobs bonking the shield generators. And it seems that, I mean, where have the Dark Eldar been for the past 5 minutes or so? But quite a large economy. I suppose maybe they've been rebuilding all their plasma generators and all that gubbins. But playing much more of a harassment flanking role here, really. Which means that when they've finally been caught out in the open by a mass army of orcs, don't really have the army, well, the standing army to really do anything about them. Tyranids from Falcon even. Seeing if they can sort out the Plague Reaper. The Grandma Nobs. Oh dear, it's been yeah, he was building this up for so long, only to then be undone by the careless hands of the Orks. Plenty of portals, a field command being built up over inside the Dark Eldar side of things. Got the Dice of Destruction. He's going to see what he can do. Also got a Soulstorm in the middle of all these looters. Attempting to use his Dark Scythe. Doesn't really seem to have killed any of them. That's unfortunate. And then dying himself. Good attempt, Dice of Destruction. Good attempt indeed, but on your own, haven't really achieved all that much. I mean, those have said, oh, we'll just ignore this storm. Actually, almost get a squad wipe on him. What are you? You are a Shadow Super Heavy. But, dead. Dead as a doorknob. Not sure, I mean, what were you planning to do? Just jump over and then just ignore all this and decide to go for a bit of a base trade? Maybe. Got the nuclear bombers now coming over to take out the Tyranids. Flying on high. And while Team 1 struggled on in the early game, considering that the majority of their game was a 3 versus 4, being able to take out the opposing Tau, did manage to balance the stuff out. And yet, huge props to the Tyranids and the Dark Eldar for their harassment campaign. The Tyranids just for basically soloing this side, more or less, for a lot of the game. And the Imperial Guard for their defensive capacities. I mean, just Orks do silly things. The longer a game goes on, the more silly the Orks do become. And the Chaos Space Marines, I mean, if the Chaos Space Marines were able to fold, and, you know, the Tyranids got inside their base, Orks probably would not have had the wiggle room to do what they could do, but also huge well done to the Chaos Space Marine player here, Darkness, for just managing to hold the line against the Tyranids as the game goes on. The final, smattering of nuclear explosions just to round off the game. Enough to make a grown man cry. Beautiful stuff. So yes, cheers, stranger, for sending that game into the Discord. And for One Spot channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you once a game a week. And there is also Discord, where Discord things happen. Linked in the description as always. As been Mr. Landshark, pleasure's always never short. And I will see you in a bit. Peace.